My name is Susan Browder. I'm a retired teacher, mother, grandmother, and an Everytown Senior Survivor Fellow, in which role I use my voice to advocate for survivors of domestic violence. My daughter Sarah was an artist. She was generous, kind, and forgiving. In fact, perhaps that generosity of spirit was her downfall. Sarah fell in love with a charming young Marine who wooed her and made her laugh. But soon he showed an extreme need for control. I had not foreseen that fate for my daughter, but I wish I had, for I too had seen abuse. I have seared on my brain the memory of my father holding a loaded gun to my mother's head as she stood motionless and pale. As a young mother, I made the decision to never mention my father's abuse to my own 3 children. My kids had a kind father and a loving home, so I thought we were all safe. But if I had told my children about their grandfather's abuse, perhaps we would all have been safer. Sarah happily married Kurt, but soon there were signs of control and isolation. When Sarah told her dad and me that she would have to leave the marriage, we thought that she was strong and could manage that, and that it was our job to dry her tears and offer support. We did not know that her life would be in danger when she left. We did not know that the presence of a gun in a domestic violence situation increases the risk of homicide by 500%. Unfortunately, at the moment of her leaving, when he felt his power over Sarah being wrenched away, this Marine, trained to shoot with precision, raised his gun and put a bullet through Sarah's spine. Another bullet shattered the spray of dogwood blossoms across her shoulder, blossoms that Sarah herself had designed in memory of her grandmother. He then pointed that gun at his own head and took his own life. He died immediately. Sarah lay in the ICU, unable to move, speak, or breathe, and died in 5 days. So my mission in life took a detour, from teaching French and Latin to advocating for survivors of domestic violence. I found it enormously challenging to really help survivors of violence, especially as funding was rapidly drying up for helping them, for investigating crimes against women, and for safe relationships agencies. Eventually, I changed course, deciding that I might put my teaching skills to better use by educating young people about healthy relationships so that they might avoid abusers. But abusers are notoriously charming, cunning, and deceitful. Finally, it clicked. I needed to focus on getting guns out of the hands of abusers. At last, I realized that the problem was money. The profits of the gun manufacturers and the coffers of the lawmakers who cater to them. 8 years after the death of my daughter, our lawmakers have not yet passed a federal red flag law that could have spared her life as well as many others. Our senators have not closed the loophole on our archaic background check system that allowed a violent man to easily buy the gun that killed my child. The Violence Against Women Act has sat unrenewed in the Senate for the past 20 months, while in the midst of a pandemic, incidents of domestic violence and gun violence soar, and helping agencies struggle with funding. What can concerned citizens like us do to mitigate this situation? There are several things. In every election, support candidates up and down the ballot who will reject donations from the gun manufacturers' lobby and who will seek sensible legislation that 85% of Americans want. Consider gun violence prevention as you decide how to mark your ballot. Talk to our leaders. Ask them at the local, state, and federal level to provide resources that would protect adults and children from relationship abuse. Donate time and money to family services so that there are sufficient resources to address the demands and challenges caused by the stressors and isolation of this pandemic. This week is the 8th anniversary of Sarah's death at age 29. Our family honors her memory every year by performing random acts of kindness. I invite you to join us in showing extra kindness at this time when it is so greatly needed. Remember that we must not allow another generation of children to grow up traumatized by domestic violence, another person to bear the scars of that experience, another family to grieve for stolen loved ones. Together, we can rise up and make a difference. Please donate now at riseforsight.org. Thank you.